Hey folks, it's Abby from Abby of Pellinor, and this is going to be a super quick reading wrap up this month. In August I read, if you couldn't guess from the thumbnail, a total of one book. I have been in a massive reading slump, like unbelievable reading slump. I have read in total, it was 600, did I write it down? I did. 697 pages, roughly, excluding a few little bits here and there. But essentially I read a chunk of this covered up book that you can't see, that is Chilling Effect by Valerie Valdes. I read a bunch of that, I'm enjoying it. And then I read all of The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. This one I listened to via audiobook while I was at work, and it is pretty much the only reason why I have any completed book at all, is listening to this on audiobook. I will say that the audiobook is done really well, I really enjoy it. It's not, you know, the best audiobook I've ever seen, but I do recommend if you do want to go and pick up an audiobook. This is quite predictable. If you know the formula for YA fantasy books, this follows it quite close to the letter. The difference about this is that it has a lot of influence from Islam and from Arabic cultures, which is from Chakraborty's husband. She herself is Western and I believe was raised either Christian or neutral, but her husband is the Chakraborty, is the Islamic influence here, and so it comes from there. People have had some issues with that, with how she has kind of portrayed herself as though she is a person of colour whilst she isn't, so heads up. But the book is written well, it's a fun read, it's a fast read, it's very much YA, but I had a good time. It was enjoyable. I will continue with the series. Thank you very much, Hannah from Nada M, for gifting me this. You gifted me this almost a year ago now for my 26th birthday, so thank you. And yeah, this is just, it's got a lot of different magical systems in it with Jinn and with other magical systems that I have forgotten the name of now because I haven't heard them before. I enjoyed kind of seeing how the magic was different for different people and how they intertwined, and the different, essentially, tribes in the area, and how it was hidden from humanity. It would have been nice to have more development on that. It very much was like, oh yeah, no, the humans are there and we know the humans are there, but we don't speak about the humans. And they don't know we're there. And then that was it. I would have liked more. But I finished this before I went on holiday, so I can't remember enough to talk about it. This is what I mean. This is one of the worst wrap-up videos I've ever done in my life. I'm just doing this for continuity, essentially. This is the only thing I read. That, like 100 pages of Chilling Effect I read on the plane, and that's it. I am in a horrendous slump. I mentioned this in my September TBR, if you want to watch it, but I am in a really, really bad reading slump. I don't want to read. I'm actively avoiding reading my books. I'm not even picking up, like, my chapters each day of Les Mis. Yeah, it's not been a fun time for me, so I'm trying to care for my mental health and my physical health. So if you have seen the TBR, it's a lot more reasonable than past TBRs. There's only technically one book on it. So I read one book last month, and I'm setting one book for next month. That seems, as someone who wants to be reading, reasonable. But yeah, I'm struggling. So let me know down below what your best book of August was. I only have one, so it has to be City of Brass. Which means it automatically goes on my little, you know, the tree things that trickle down. I've never had that before. Usually I'm struggling to pick for like 3 different ones to put as like my best book of the month. Yeah. Anyway, there's no point keeping you. This is a very short video this weekend because not having a good time. So yeah, next weekend I will be talking about the books that I bought when I was on holiday. So that'll be a lot more fun. I don't know when I'm going to read them, but still. If you have any tips for getting out of a slump, please give me them. My usual tip for myself, which probably will work when I finally am able to sit down and do it, is to read just 1 chapter a day. Very, very small amount, very doable, and you are still getting through the story and getting invested in it, and eventually you tend to want to pick up more, or at least that's how I find it. It's just getting myself to actually sit down and read a chapter. Yeah, it's not going well. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching. Hopefully next month will be better. Bye!